Kenshi is a very ambitious title, featuring deep gameplay elements in a sandbox environment. This game gives you the opportunity to play the way you want, all while exploring a truly unique world. However, games like this are not without their faults, and the learning curve might be too high for some players. Hey everyone, Tyler here with Gilded Reviews, and today we are taking a look at the early access title Kenshi from indie developer Lo-Fi Games. Kenshi is going to be released from early access soon, and I wanted to give you guys a rundown of what this title has to offer. Kenshi is an open world crafting based sandbox with fully functioning survival, RTS, simulator, and classic RPG mechanics. It's a lot, I know, but it does allow you to truly play the way you want. There are no rules, no real objectives, no quests or gear checks, leaving it for you to decide where you want to go and what you want to do. Want to play as a lone warrior traveling around bounty hunting? Go for it. Feel the need to free slaves from a mining colony? Sure, why not? Want to raid a city and enslave their people because they didn't sell any hemp? Well, you can do that too. Unfortunately, all of these mechanics working together can create some bugs and glitches. These are usually small enough that they don't keep you from completing your task. It also creates an environment that can be frustrating for newcomers. Things tend to just happen, and sometimes surviving feels impossible. Cannibals patrolling by when you have recently escaped prison just to haul you off and eat you, finally getting free of a zone where a tax collector and his small army are chasing you, only to run into a herd of beak creatures that tear your group to shreds. It's brutal out there, and learning the basics will significantly improve your chances. Almost everything has a solution. You might lose someone, you might not, but you won't know until you try, and that is really one of the most rewarding aspects of this game. Every system seems to be built layered together to create a nice, engaging experience. The world itself is alive, changing while you play. There are a ton of factions, with multiple groups of NPCs just roaming around the map, doing as they please. Some might overrun cities and settlements, while others might trade, causing an area to flourish. Your actions also affect the world. If you decide to kill everyone in a city, new people will start moving in. If you take out a caravan, that faction will start to hate you. You can even wear the faction's clothes as a disguise and sneak around their base. The crafting is also very well done. There are a ton of items, benches, materials, and research for you to get your hands on. And if you are looking for something else, the game offers a mod market with a surprisingly large selection for an early access title. It's all very in-depth and offers one of the best crafting experiences I have seen in a survival game. I am going to sound like a broken record here, but this level of depth extends to every aspect of Kenshi. You can build your own base, practically turn it into a full city, hire new people to join your colony, and have them work for you to make more money. Or you can turn it into a military training facility and start raiding the Holy Nation. It is honestly crazy what you can do. Even individual characters get this attention to detail. Every NPC and all the characters under your control have their own set of stats, from how well that character mines ore to how good they can make weapons. This extends to combat, including stats for different parts of the body, like the left leg, right leg, head, and so on. Each part of the body has its own health and can be damaged individually. While this is not unheard of in games, it still seems to be rather rare. If you break your left leg, you will drag it broken behind you, reducing your character's speed. If your right arm breaks, you will not be able to haul people or use that arm in combat. Honestly, I could talk about all the things that make Kenshi unique for an hour and barely scratch the surface. So instead of trying to break down everything this game has to offer in a first look, I decided it would be best to just tell you guys a few of the different things that have happened to me while playing Kenshi. This title, like RimWorld and Dwarf Fortress, seem to be built around the idea of creating unique and unforgettable stories for the player. Everything is so random, and things can happen without much warning, forcing you into some pretty hilarious situations. In my last playthrough, I decided I would show one of my buddies what this game was all about. He suggested I try the Cannibal Hunter Start, where they drop you directly into combat with an entire camp of cannibals. I decided, why not? What's the worst that could happen? If I die, I can just restart. After loading into the game, I find my character surrounded by what feels like 400 cannibals. I am quickly taken down and brought to cages around the campfire. Using classic RPG mechanics, I am able to right-click and try and escape prison. This, of course, is a role-based system, so I have to continually attempt to escape. Luckily, the AI is smart enough that it continues to roll attempts without forcing me to redo my selection. Eventually, I escape, only to be hauled back to prison by a patrolling NPC. At a loss, I tell my friend I should just restart. I don't think I will ever get out of here. The next thing I know, a giant beak creature, I mean the biggest one I have ever seen, comes storming through the camp, slaughtering almost all of the cannibals. I decided it was time to try and escape. I got everyone out of prison except one guy that was still unconscious. From here I take my 3 or 4 guys and haul ass out of town and find a safe city to rest up at. Unfortunately, I quickly realize that I am deep in the heart of cannibal territory, and every city I come across is just full of people that want to eat me. Meanwhile, my unconscious hero is still incarcerated in an empty town, now being patrolled by a massive beak creature. After a few, the monster decides he wants to eat some of the dead cannibals and starts chowing down on a group just behind some tents in town. This was my chance to escape, and the entire town was empty, so I decided why not break into the leader's cabin and steal all of his stuff. This story could go on for a while, but I think you guys get the idea. That character eventually gets caught by another group of cannibals and gets beaten, cooked, and eaten. As I said, anything can happen, and the experiences you get from this title are extremely unique. The last thing I wanted to talk about before I end this first look is the AI. Not the world AI with the NPCs, but the AI you can designate to your workers. When you are managing your city, you give your workers jobs. This is handled differently than most games that have this type of feature. You chain commands together and save them as jobs for workers. You do this by holding shift and clicking on the item you want them to work on. This creates a list in the lower right hand corner of the screen, allowing you to prioritize the work you want to be done first. It really is a well-designed system and manages to make assigning jobs very easy. Overall, I have thoroughly enjoyed this title and recommend it for anyone willing to take the time and explore everything Kenshi has to offer. This game has a pretty huge following, including an awesome modding community and a dedicated developer that listens to its player base. One last thing, this title is single player only and doesn't have the capability to ever be multiplayer. Hey everyone, thanks for watching. I have really enjoyed my time in Kenshi and can't wait for the official release. If you have had a chance to play it, what did you think? Anyhow, thanks again, and don't forget, if you enjoyed the video, click the like button, leave a comment, or consider subscribing. It really helps us out.